What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Guess who is live once again? 2 days in a row, twice in a week. It has been a while since I've done this, guys, but we are live once again. Today we're doing something completely different, something brand new. We're doing an altcoin report. This is something I've been doing in my Discord, and I want to start doing it every now and then live here on YouTube as well, because a lot of the times it's easier for me to just kind of run through these analysis with you guys live on video, and it makes it just much easier for people to watch it like that. So I'll be trying it out a few times to see how that works out. Let me know how the volume is here. I put the music down. But basically what we're going to be doing in today's live stream, just kind of going over the market. We're going to be going, yesterday we did Bitcoin, which is the king of crypto, right? Everything moves through Bitcoin. Today we're going to be looking at some of the other coins. We're going to be looking at some of the altcoins, how they've been moving, and doing just kind of brief analysis on a few of the top moving altcoins in the market in the last 7 days. So that'll be pretty much what we're going to be doing in today's live stream. And if you guys enjoy it, then we'll do this more often. So that's the plan here today. Let me pull up the coin market cap here so that we can take a look at these top performing. Whoops, I meant to put coin. Well, I'm gonna bring up CoinGecko as well so we can see the top movers. Anything else? I think that's it. So let me put you guys on the screen. If you guys have any specific altcoins that you want me to take a look at, just drop it in the comments, and I'll be more than happy to briefly go over them as well. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump right in, and we're going to start here with the king of all altcoins. Of course, I am talking about Ethereum. Let's start with the top down. This is usually how I like to look at any chart if I haven't looked at it yet, or when I'm gonna first look at any chart. I always start excuse me, I always start with what's called a top down analysis. So I start from the very top, from the monthly view, and this gives me a kind of a bird's eye view of what is going on overall in the market, and where we could potentially be going next, where there's support and resistance areas. This just gives me a bird's eye view of all of that. So whenever you're looking at a chart, especially if it's a chart that you haven't seen from this view, I recommend you guys doing that. So right off the bat, just looking at this chart, and I'm gonna take off the moving averages for now. Just want to focus on the price action and the Fibonacci retracement levels, right? So the Fibonacci is these here. Wait, are these Fibonacci's? Yeah, making sure that there's a Fibonacci. Sometimes I draw them and they might be the same color. Yeah, so right now we're looking at the Fibonacci retracement levels, right? And this Fibonacci retracement level started all the way back in the previous bull run, right? So all the way back in 2020 is where I start this off, all the way to the top. So Ethereum topped out at 48.75. I think in this next bull run, we're easily going to go way over that, potentially to $10,000 is what I believe for this next bull cycle. So it's about a, what is it, a 5x from current prices. Not bad, right? So and it's a 10x if you would have bought at the bottom of the bear market, which was around $1,000 in November of last year. So basically 1 year later, we've moved up from where we were. The low here was 877, and this was actually June. I'm sorry, I didn't even know it was in June. Let me see. Where was it in November? November we hit 1,000. In June we actually hit the low, which was 877. And now we're currently sitting at $2,042. So, and we can right away, just as soon as I put this on, I can see, okay, the Fibonacci retracement, the 78.6 is right here, and the next one, 61.8 is right here. And we can see that when we lost that 61.8 level, look at this massive candle. Notice it's the biggest candle out of all of these candles, right? It was once we lost that major level, we had a 44% drop. Now we're back at that level. We're revisiting this level. So this right off the rip, it tells me this is a very important level here for us to close above here this month on the monthly. So this we'll be watching this, and this level sits around that 1900 level, 1900, 1930, around there. And right now it's looking like we're breaking above it. But we obviously have to see how the monthly closes here. But so far it looks really good so far. I'm hoping that we set up a new, let me see, did we hit a new higher high? No, we haven't hit a new higher high. So I'm hoping that we can hit a new higher high here in Ethereum, maybe up towards that 2200 level. This next Fibonacci level is up at 2500. So it will be nice to set a new higher high here and potentially then test this level up here, which is $2,500. So that's the next thing that we'd be looking for here, really, is to make sure that this candle closes, then see a continuation to the upside to push this next level up here at $2,500, which we're very close to, by the way. So that's pretty much the bird's eye view there. And if we zoom in, it kind of shows the same story we see here, what's been happening over the last couple years, over the last year, where we just kind of been consolidating between these two levels. This is pretty much the golden pocket here, where a lot of well, that's my dog. excuse me, Teddy, no barking. I'm live streaming. Yeah, as you guys can see here, this was a big area for me, and this is still pretty much a big area. You can see here, we've had a lot of open interest in that area, which is why I have that box there. And if we go back historically, once again, we can see the same thing. A lot of movement there, and that's basically, I can really take that off because that's basically with that Fibonacci level. That Fibonacci level is already covering that as a big level there. So it's fine to take that box off there now. So we see that with the weekly close here above this level here. So now, and we had this week, we had a retest of this. So this is actually really good when you get a breakout and a retest and then continuation to the upside. So that next main resistance is going to be up towards 2,500. I love the idea of building a long-term position, a swing position here at $2,000. That's in one of my accounts, that's kind of what I've done. I have an account where I simply, apart from my long-term holdings that's on spot, not leveraged, and apart from my trading, that's just leverage, I do short day trades, right? I have a part of my account where I just kind of build positions for, longer terms, basically swings. I would say swing trades, where I can, I could potentially hold it for from either a few days to a few weeks to a few months, right? It just depends how I feel about how the market's looking at that time. Right now, I feel very bullish about it. So with this retest here, yesterday I added to my positions there, and now I think my total position, my average entry is around 19, because I added yesterday during the drop. And I think I'm around 1960 or something like that is currently my average entry there. I added yesterday when we dropped to 1930. At 1950 I added again today around 2000. So that's how I got that average. And then I'm just gonna hold this. At least my target right now is 2,500. So I'm at least holding it to 2,500. And then we'll see, I might take profits there. And if we get some sort of pullback, then I'll add back again and average into another longer term swing. But, I honestly, if this holds up here, I don't mind holding this for the next few months beyond 2,500, maybe even into the previous all-time highs. That would be a massive, massive move there, which would have massive, massive returns. So if that's a way you want to play it, I don't mind that either. So let's go into the daily, and again, the daily is pretty much showing you the same thing that we just talked about. We just looked at. We had the breakout. We have a retest here of the previous resistance and a bounce there. So looks very bullish. I like the setup. I like how it looks. If we get any other retest of 2,000 or anything down here below, closer to that 1900, I recommend you guys opening positions there for sure. Let's go ahead and take a look at the next one that's been one of the biggest movers today. Actually, the biggest movers today is Avalanche. So let's really quickly look here for the biggest movers in the last 7 days, and we'll pick up a few of the biggest movers here. So we can see right off the rip, Solana over the last week is up 50%. That's pretty wild. In 1 week, what? And then we have Avalanche up 58%. Guys, these are two of my favorite coins that I've been speaking about for probably the last year or so. I did a video where I spoke about basically adding, these coins to your portfolio, your long-term portfolios. Solana was around $20 just a few weeks ago. We had Avalanche under $10 just a few weeks ago. Now it's sitting Avalanche at $20, which was 100% return in less than a month. And we have Solana at $65, which I think has been also like a 200% return in a span of like 2 months or less. Let's take a look at that right now. So let's start with Avalanche, since it's the big one here in the last week. It's up over 58% in the last 7 days. So let's start here. And let's just kind of look at how big this move actually has been, right? From the bottom here to where we currently are, guys, that's 142% move in a span of, what is this, the 19th of October. In less than a month, 142% return, guys. That's pretty wild, right? So we have to be careful here when they're after really, really big moves like this, because we could potentially get pullbacks. So you got to be careful. If you did not get this move from the bottom, you got to kind of play a little careful here. But let's kind of zoom out and get a bird's eye view here of where we are in the grand scheme of things. So this was a support level that I had drawn when we were down here at $10. And notice that I had put an alert here. So when we dropped below $10, that was that $10 range. When we dropped below it, I set up an alert to alert me when it crossed $10 like it did here, because I knew that if we crossed, or once we crossed back above $10, I knew that this was gonna make a run, and that's exactly what happened. As soon as we closed above, we crossed this, closed above it, this next candle is 83%, right? That's this week's candle, 83% this week, guys, 84% now. So that's pretty insane. So this next, what is this one? This next area that I have drawn here is the next big area of interest that that I see. Let me put on the volume shelf here to see if it gives us any other details. And you can see that the majority of the open interest is in this range, right? Between, what is it, like between like $13 up to $19. So basically up to where it's at right now. And once we break above this range, once we break above, I think that $20, I have it set up at around $22. You can see that when we dropped here, that range there played as a support and then played as a resistance as we drop back down. So coming back up, that's probably going to be a resistance there. Once we break above that level, then we'll probably continue up towards that $32 area, $30 area, which was also another previous area of interest, as you guys can see there. It played as resistance there, played as support there. So that's going to be the next major area. So that's what we're watching right now. That next big resistance is currently here. We're at it right now. Well, we're not at it right now, but we're about $1 away. Because remember, these areas are never just a specific number. They're a range. So we're already in that range there right now. So if I was looking to trade this right now, I'm probably either looking to short it, right, at this resistance line, which I'm not going to do, because one of the things that you don't want to do that often is set up a position in the opposite in the opposite, like, counter trend, right? You don't want to be counter trend when you're day trading. Now you can, but it's a bit more advanced and complex, because this could easily just kind of break out of there and leave you in the dust, and you'll get stopped out right away. So if you're not going to short it, then the other two ways that you can play this is have a breakout above $22. Now the thing with breakouts, you could get stopped out. You can see that several times it tried to break out and then it got rejected and dropped all the way back down. So that's one thing that you need to be careful with if you're playing a breakout. But I think during an uptrend, a breakout, a long breakout is a good way to play these coins, especially because these moves are usually so fast, right? And on the weekly here, you can see that it's setting up what's called a bullish pin bar. So bullish pin bar is, of course, as it has in the name, is a bullish signal for continuation to the upside. So that's pretty much what I'm seeing here. And then the third way that you can play it is what's called a breakout and retest, right? So instead of playing that breakout, you're gonna wait on the retest. The reason why is because the breakout trades, they're pretty much, I would say, maybe 50-50, sometimes even less. I think now if we're gonna be saying that we're in a bull market, bull trend, then they're gonna hit a little bit more often than not. But it's still always a good trade if you want to be more conservative. If you have less risk tolerance or lower risk tolerance, then the ideal way that you're gonna want to play it is wait for the breakout. Once you get that breakout, wait for a retest of this area, right? So we want to see this flip into a support. Once we get a breakout, for example, something like this, where we break out, and then maybe it comes back down, that's where we want to enter our trade, and then we get that continuation to the upside. So those are the 3 ways that you can play Avalanche here if you're looking to get into a position, if you've missed out. If not, the other thing to do is, of course, just kind of wait for, if we get rejected here, just kind of wait. That's probably going to be, I guess, the 4th way to play it is just wait. If we get a pullback, maybe to this range here, we can see that range has been somewhat important here in Avalanche's history. When we look all the way back, you can see how many times it was a point of interest, and we just saw the volume bars, right? If we pull them up again, you can see that level is a big level for open interest. So that would be the 4th way that you can play a trade here on Avalanche this week. So 4 different ways to play this trade. It really depends on what strategy you might feel more comfortable with, your risk tolerance, etc., etc. So depending on that, I would say if you're a newer trader and you don't have a specific strategy that you'd like to use, then I would say you have to try them all out, see which one best suits you, but avoid any counter trend strategies. So just make life easier for yourself. Don't try to trade the opposite way of the trend. So if you're on the newer side of that, that's what I would recommend. If you guys are holding long term for Avalanche, just hang on, guys. This is gonna be a hell of a ride. I'm sure we're gonna head back up to that $100 area and beyond, potentially going beyond this previous all-time high. So Avalanche, another one of my big holders, my big positions in my portfolio. Very happy to see this up 150% in the last 2 or 3 weeks. That is crazy. So the next biggest mover in the top 25 this week is, of course, Solana. Solana has been insane as well, if not even more insane than Avalanche. Let's see. Let's take a look at it real quick. So let's just look at the last 2 weeks. Look at that, guys. I had to give it a moment of silence and the week is not over yet. But in the last 2 weeks, Solana is up over 200%, guys. Let me say that again. In the last 2 weeks, Solana is up over 200%, and it's not a meme coin, right? Usually you see moves like this by meme coins that have nothing behind it. It has no fundamental. Solana actually has fundamentals behind it. It actually has a purpose, and there's actually a really, really big and growing ecosystem behind it. So I've been talking about Solana for a long time now, basically this whole year. After this massive dump, look at the previous all-time high, $259. Guys, I'm pretty sure that Solana in this next bull run could potentially hit $1,000. Like, that's kind of where my head's at. Now, I'm not saying we're gonna hit $1,000, but there's a big chance that it does. So I think it's a big mistake if you're not invested, if you're not holding any Solana long term, because I 100% believe that it really can get to that range between $500 to $1,000 in over the next 2 years. So look at what happened in the last 2 weeks. Over 200% in the last 2 weeks. I'm talking in the last 2 years. In the next 2 years, can it go another 10x? I definitely think so. It's gone 2x in the last 2 weeks alone. So definitely a big one of mine in my portfolio as well. Let's kind of dive further into it. Let me actually, because this is there we go. So I already have this kind of, I've obviously looked at this before. And these are all, what I have set up here are all Fibonacci levels. Let me get rid of the most recent one. And I just want to look at the previous Fibonacci levels here from this previous run up. So we can see, let's see from this one. How's this one set up? I think this one is set up backwards. Let me move this over here, because this is what it would be like from the run up to the all-time high. So we can see that the biggest levels here was, of course, right here, which we have broken above that level. That was at $45. We've clearly broken above that level now. And of course, right here, this is where this was the low. This was its all-time low here. So that was at $20. And look how long we sat at $20, guys. Look at that. That was a long time. This was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Guys, basically an entire year we were at that $20 range, which was basically where it opened up the price. And we went as low as $8 in December of last year. This was after the FTX fiasco. So I don't blame you if you didn't buy at that price. I know I didn't add to my position at $8. I needed to wait. I was like, I need to see what happens here. And once we got this bounce back, and then it started sitting around $20, I was buying like a madman here. And we finally got our move up here. So very happy with my position there. The way I'm gonna be trading this, let's zoom in a bit more. We're now looking at the weekly here. Sorry guys, I was looking at the monthly before. So I said in the last 2 weeks, I meant the last 2 months here, sorry. So in the last 2 months, we've moved up over 200%, not the last 2 weeks. I didn't mean to confuse anyone. So let's zoom into the weekly now. So in the last 2 weeks, we're up 59%, right? And then in the last 3 weeks, well, less, it's like 2 weeks and a half, we're up 100%. So it's been a crazy 2 months basically, where things have just been moving crazy in Solana. We're currently at yearly highs here at $65. That next big resistance zone that I'm watching is up here at $75. If we again look back on history, look back at what Solana has done in those same ranges, we can see that it makes sense. Look at it here. What happened there when Solana went to $75? It bounced, right? We had that dead cat bounce there before it continued to the downside. So I wouldn't be surprised if this played as a big resistance here before we continued higher. And on a break above that, it's pretty much free. And let's take a look at the VRVP. Did I put it on? Where is it? For some reason, it doesn't. Oh, there we go. Doesn't want to show up. So of course, the biggest open interest is down here at the $20 mark. So now that we've broken above that, there's really not a lot. Let me see. Is there another big level here? There's really not. The next biggest level is basically at $100 as far as open interest goes. So the next big resistance here is going to be 75. After that, we're pretty much free to run all the way up to 100. Of course, a big psychological resistance, big psychological number. I'm sure a lot of people will be taking profits at 100. But those people have a short-term view. So I'm not taking profits at 100. I'm going to keep holding because I believe we're going to hit not only its previous all-time high, but beyond that. So we have the next big resistance level is going to be up here around $140. And you can see it here in history. It happened there, and again here, and again here. So history confirms this, right? That's going to be the next big level there for Solana. So it's only a matter of time. The way to play it right now, it's very similar to Avalanche. We're approaching a big resistance level here. The best way to play it so far has been to buy back at $50. That's a minor resistance support level there because it's a psychological number. So that's been the best way to play it over the last 2 weeks or so. So I would say your first move is, if we get a pullback, look to get in at $50. If we get continuation up, you probably don't want to short it here at the resistance. You probably just kind of want to wait. And then play it the same way that we spoke about Avalanche. Either you can play the breakout, or you can play a breakout and retest. That'll be the ways to play that there. So if you guys are interested in trading Avalanche, that is how I would trade it. I'm sorry, guys. I am so confused right now. Solana, not Avalanche. I kept mentioning Avalanche, and I confused myself. My bad. So if you want to play Solana, that is how I would play it right now. All right, so we've looked at Ethereum. We've looked at Avalanche. We've looked at Solana. What else has been a big mover here? And again, guys, if you guys have any requests on coins that you want me to kind of give a breakdown on, drop it in the comments, and I'll be happy to take a look at the charts. So I'm going to do two more here. It looks like the Atom is up 10% over the last week. We have Polkadot up 11%. We have Matic up 13%. All right, so let's take a look at the next biggest mover here, which is Matic. And right now I'm only looking at the top 25 coins. So anything outside the top 25, I'm not really going to be looking at unless you request it. So let's take a look at Matic. All right, so let's zoom out to the monthly. We can see from the last bull run, the Fibonacci level that I drew all the way to the top. Let me make that yellow because I can't see that blue. And let me make this a different color because it confuses me. All right. So we can see right now we're in a clear area where there's a lot of open interest. I'm sure that if I put on the volume bars, it'll probably show that as well. Yep, as I imagined. And I mean, it's like you don't even need these in order to see that. It's pretty obvious when you look at all this consolidation here. There's so much consolidation here, right? Price has tested this so much. So I'm gonna remove these bars. And we can see there's a lot going on here. And one of the main reasons why is because we're at that $1 mark, right? Why is $1 important? Again, human psychology, right? That psychological level, it's a big whole number. Always assume that every whole number is going to be some type of resistance or support, right? It's just human psychology. So that's something that I use a lot in trading. I use big whole numbers to look for support and resistance areas, and I use them as entries as well. So if anyone is in my group, or if you've ever been in my Discord group, to keep things as simple as possible, I always use the big whole numbers so that everyone can kind of be on the same page, and it makes the entries and exits a lot more simple than if I give you like if I give you $1.03, or if I give you 91 cents, things like that, it throws people a little bit off. So I love using whole numbers for everything, basically. So here we can see that right now we're in a big area where there's a lot of buying and selling, and we can see that this month Matic is up 43% after it had dropped. So it went down as low as 49 cents. Actually went lower than that and went to 31 cents. Wow. That's during the FTX fiasco, or was it? No, FTX was, last year. Basically. So what I'm looking for here, we can see that we're above right now this Fibonacci level. So I like that. I want to see this monthly close here. Let's see where we're at on the weekly. So you can see that the weekly candle has already closed above this, and we got that retest. So like we've been talking about, right? We want to see a breakout and a retest, and that's a high probability trade to take, right? When we break out above a previous resistance, we retest it, high probability trade. So if you're looking to enter any trades here, I like trades here at 85 cents. If we get any pullbacks to that range, I like that. And I'd set up my stop losses below the most recent lows, most likely, right? If you want more space so that you don't get stopped out, then maybe set it up down here, but just below 80 cents. Again, what are we doing? We're playing the big whole number, right? So that's what I would play there. If price does not go back, then what I'm going to be looking to do is probably play the next big whole number, right? $1. So how am I going to play $1? The same way I'm playing the others, any other resistance. I'm going to wait for a breakout and a retest. I'm going to enter on the retest. So I want to see this break out, come back. I want to see $1, that retest hold there as support. That's where you buy. And then you get that continuation up, because you can see the next level is up here at $1.30, which is literally a 30% profit. If you just hold that on spot, that's a 30% profit there. So that's pretty much what I would be, the way I'm gonna play it. I'm either gonna look to buy here at 85 cents on that retest of this support, or I'm gonna look to buy a breakout above $1. That's the second scenario. Or I'm going to look for a breakout and a retest. That's the third way to play. So 3 different ways that you can play Matic right now. Next, we're going to look at Polkadot, I think. Was that the next biggest one? 13%. Polkadot, 11%. Yep. So let's look at Polkadot, and then we're going to finish it off with Atom. And then I'll take some requests. I see in the chat, Crypto Badel, what's going on? I see Butcher requested Cardano, Darius requested Loop Ring, and Steffi requested Polkadot. So we're gonna do Polkadot right now. Then I'm gonna knock out, what was the other one? Atom, and then I'll do Loop Ring. Sound good, guys? If you're in here right now, make sure to smash that like button, by the way. That's going to help out the channel a ton with the algorithm, of course. All right, so Polkadot, here it is. All right, so let's zoom out monthly. And again, guys, we keep it super, super simple. Like, trading doesn't have to be complicated. Trading is complicated enough already. There's no reason to make it even more complicated. Keep things as simple as possible. Zoom out. Look for major support and resistance areas and play those areas. Like, that's all you really got to do. Like, you don't have to overcomplicate it. And don't trade against the trend. That's the other thing that you need to do. If you just follow those principles alone, you'll become a much not only a much better trader, but you'll become much more profitable. If you're not profitable yet, you'll probably become profitable, or at least get close to it. And you'll really start to figure it out. So just try to keep it as simple as possible for yourself. So what am I doing here? Same thing, guys. I look at all the charts exactly the same. I zoom out. I draw Fibonacci level. I'm like, all right, let's draw Fibonacci level from the bottom to the top of the last run. And now I look to build levels based on the Fibonacci retracements, based on previous support resistance areas that are obvious, and based on hold numbers. Like it's really that simple. And then you just gotta, just play those levels. You just gotta figure out how you want to play it, what type of trader you want to do, what type of trades you want to take. So here we're pretty much the same thing. We can see that we have a big level here. That's why we drew the line. Let me change these colors again, because these colors, I can't see that blue, and then this is not part of the Fibonacci retracement level, so I got to change it, because if not, it confuses me. There you go. Let's make this all the same. So now we have here levels that I've drawn personally, right? And then the Fibonacci level. So you can see that the levels that I've drawn, this is a trading range, right? The price has been within this trading range since 2022. So for over a year, probably like 18 months at this point. We can see this is the bottom of the trading range and this is the top of the trading range, right? It's literally, it could be that simple. Now, it's not always that simple, but sometimes it could be that simple. If you would have just bought here at $4.30, sold up here at $8, pretty much a 100% gain if you bought this and sold this. And then now we're back down here. Guess what? Buy it again. And we're going to sell up here. Like that's really as simple as it can get, right? So if I'm looking to trade this right now, I am looking down here at this level. Now, I doubt it's going to go back down here. Let's zoom in a little bit to the weekly. I doubt it's going to go back here to 430. But yesterday it went down to $5, and that's a big hold number, which is really close to this support. So that's close enough for me to play that level. If I see a pullback here back to $5, I don't mind that entry there at $5. The next way to play it, if we don't go there, you're probably gonna have to hold off, to be honest. You can try a breakout entry above the recent highs, but you're kind of in the middle of nowhere. This is what I like to call no man's land. Now, the reason that I would consider taking something like that, and I would pair that up with a whole number, right? So this is the previous recent high is at $5.89. Now what I do is I grab that and I pair it with the closest whole number, which is what? $6, right? So in that case, I'd be looking to have either a breakout entry or a breakout and retest and open a position at $6. And if we look back to look for if we have any confirmation there, we can see $6 has played as a roll here. It's played a roll here. That was a terrible line. Previously, right? So $6 is a main level here. It's not, okay, I'm not going to say main, but it's a minor level, right? Where it's played as a support and resistance level. You can see right now it's a resistance level. So I don't mind playing that level. That's actually not a bad trade. So you can play that the same exact way. If you're looking to day trade this, you're going to either buy on a breakout above $6, or you're going to wait for a breakout and a retest and then enter at $6. Yeah, that's pretty much how I would play this right now. From looking at this, I like that level. And my target is probably going to be $7. Notice that $7 is the next big hold number. And look at these candles. Look at where was that resistance at? Where was that resistance at? Where was that $7 whole numbers, right? So that's why we use these whole numbers. And another hack that you can use, instead of setting your profit at $7, set it a little bit earlier. Set it at like $6.95. Set it at $6.90, right? So like that, you make sure that your orders get a hit. If not, you might not get your order filled, and it might drop something like that, and you're stuck in a position, right? Your winning position turns into a losing position. So that's pretty much how I'm playing Polkadot here. If you're looking to trade it, I like that $6 range. I like it. All right. So what was the next one we're gonna look at? All right, let's look at Cardano. So that's the next requested one. So we're gonna do basically the same exact thing here. Just gonna go to the monthly, zoom out, right? We wanna see everything that's going on. I wanna see as much information as possible. And then we build our plan from there. So I see a lot of stuff going on here. Let me see what in the world. So it looks like I drew Fibonacci level. So I'm gonna just delete that for now. We can draw that again if we want. But all right. Once again, let's change the colors of this Fibonacci because I'm blind. I can't see that. Let's change the color of the support that I have here. All right, I think now we're good. And notice these green boxes here. So these are I've drawn from previous analysis that I've done from my Discord. But notice these green boxes here. These green boxes, I draw them because they're what I call a buy zone. They're that buy zone or a sell zone. So it just depends. If it was towards the top, then it would be a sell. On the bottom, it's a buy, right? So right now, we just broke out of that buy zone. My buy zone was from 25 cents all the way up to about 35 cents. So we had a 10-cent buy zone basically. And you can see we didn't just get here. We've been here for a long time. We got here in October of 2022. So it's been a year that we've been in that buy zone, and we just started to break out of it again. So now let's look at, if you're looking to trade it, what we can potentially do. We can see right off the rip, what do we see here? We see these two levels. Well, not two levels, but we see this one level right here that's been a resistance and support. So what level is that? That's 45 cents, right? So we can expect price to meet resistance there at that 45-cent range. Let's zoom in a bit to the weekly here. So we just broke out of what I called my buy zone here for long term. That was my long term buy zone. And you can, here we're only at 37 cents, guys. You can still buy here for long term. I'm not saying you can't buy it, but the ideal place to buy is in this green zone, which was between 25 to 35 cents. But look at the previous all-time high at $3.16. We can easily, this is gonna most likely easily get back up to those previous all-time highs. So I'm not worried about, buying 2 cents out of the buy zone. But if I'm looking to trade this here, let's see. So this first level that I can see here that's not marked is 40 cents. And there we go again, right? Big hole number. This is why I use these big hole numbers, because you can see there's always a reaction at these levels. There's always people that are buying and selling at those levels. So you can play that level the same way we've spoken about. You can either do a breakout entry. You can wait for a retest. So breakout and retest, you enter on the retest. So you can use it one of those two ways. Now, you have to be a little bit more cautious here, because right after that, we have another resistance at 45 cents, right? So you have to decide. There's not really a lot of upside here between 40 to 45 cents. That's probably going to be an entire just zone on its own, is how I would describe that. So I wouldn't be surprised if we just kind of see resistance in that entire area. So let's say from all of this, so let's make that red because it is going to be a resistance area. So now we can see this is a potential resistance, right? So again, I don't know. If you're a risk taker, then sure, take that 40-cent trade. If not, I would probably hold off for 45 cents. I think 45 cents is a little bit safer of a move, because again, you're only missing out on 5 cents, so it's not a big deal. And once we break out of this resistance zone, we're pretty much clear. I'm not gonna say clear because you can see here there's a lot of open interest here. Where's my my brush? You can see it's a lot of open interest here. So we're not clear per se. And remember, we also have 50 cents here. So 50 cents sits right here, and which is, I'm sure, is why we've seen so much activity here, because what's 50 cents? It's a big psychological whole number, right? So that's probably why we've seen so much activity here. So you want to be a little bit careful, but I think that's a good range. And then the next, after we break out of that 50 cent area, then that next major level is going to be up here, which is at 70 cents. So I think there's a lot of potential to make money there on a breakout there. So yeah, that's how I would play that. Next, let's look at Loop Ring, which was the next one that we got requested here. So now this one is one that I don't have. I don't have any Loop Ring in my portfolio, so I've never really even looked at this chart. And it's not because I don't like it or I don't believe in it or anything like that. It's just because there's a lot of altcoins out there, and it's hard to have your money in everything, right? So what I try to do, I try to break it down into between 10 to 15, maybe 20 at the max projects that I really, really believe in, and invest in those. And then, you know, maybe take a couple shots on a few that are further down, that have smaller market caps, that could potentially like outperform the projects in the top 25. So that's more or less how I build out my my long-term portfolios there. So Loop Ring is one of the ones that I don't have right now, but you know, just like everything else, it's not hard to just kind of read. Here, just set it up the same exact way. Whoops, got the wrong tool out. All right, so trying to see here. This was 2020. Let's see what it looks like if we move this to 2021. So sometimes you got to play around with it a little bit for it, you know, and look for an area where it makes sense. These things are not always exact. They're more perspective than anything. Everybody's gonna look at it differently. So this is my perspective. This is how I set them up. I kind of start at the bottom here, and then I look at how the price has reacted in these zones, and then I play around with it a little bit. Like it's you can leave it like this, and I'm sure it's fine. You can see here we've had, you know, we can see that resistance there. You can see the support there, you know. But when I moved it, let's see what it looks like when I move it over here. It's kind of, we still see the same exact resistance here. So that's still there. And now it fits here. I feel like it fits here a little bit better now. And it fits down here a little bit better as well. So that's why I put it there. I just like the way it feels here better. The way it looks here better than when I had it set up lower. So you can see that it's still on a downtrend. It hasn't really set higher high, higher lows type of thing. So it looks like it's probably lagging here, lagging the rest of the market. So what I like about things like this, when they're lagging behind, means that the move isn't in yet, right? It's eventually going to catch up. Now, the way that the money flow cycle works is that first you get Bitcoin that has a big move. Then you get Ethereum that follows. And then you get big caps. So the rest of the big projects in market cap. Then you get mid caps, right? So this is like after the top 10, top 25. After that, then you start getting mid caps. Then you start getting, then the low caps. Then it goes into micro caps. Now, that's usually how the money flow cycle works. But because we're still early in the beginning of the bull run stages, it doesn't mean it's going to work like that. The way it's going to flow right now is mainly going to be in Bitcoin. And then, whenever Bitcoin takes a break, it'll flow into like Ethereum and other large caps, maybe some mid caps and low caps. But a lot of projects will probably be left behind and they'll have to catch up later on. So this has the looks of a project like that. Let's pull up the 200-day moving average. I want to see what that looks like here. So I have the 50 and let me take away the 50. So we can see that we haven't even crossed yet. The 50 and 200 hasn't even crossed yet, which is important when it comes to a trend change. So it definitely has catching up to do. It's still very, very close to that that 200-day moving average as well. It literally just got above it. You can see price just got above the 200-day moving average there. And there's other projects like this. If we look at, for example, Litecoin, I'm sure we'll see something similar to this. Look at Litecoin. Litecoin still hasn't even crossed the 200-day moving average. So Litecoin is even further behind right now. Let me go back to Loopring. But yeah, so I think, it's only a matter of time before it takes off. If you're looking to buy long-term, like this is down here towards that 18 to 20 cent range. Great spot to accumulate on. If you're looking to trade it, I'll have to zoom in a bit more to see what I can gather here for a trade. If I'm looking to trade, so I can see, looks like this level is potentially a small area. I wouldn't say it's anything big, but it looks like it's closer to that 25 cent range maybe. Looks like there's another one towards that 30 cent area. There's a big one right here. Another big level right there. So those are the main areas that I see here. I would call this one probably a smaller, a more minor type of area. But we have seen a lot of action there. Let me pull up the volume shells really quickly to see what that looks like. And we can see there's just so much action here in between all this, right? But the biggest level right now looks like we haven't even hit it yet, which is 30 cents. So 30 cents looks to be a really big level. We're currently sitting at 23 cents. So I would say 30 cents is probably the official one that you want to target and start to play here, unless you can get a something closer to 22 cents. I see 22 cents as a minor level here. You can see it played as a support there yesterday when we dropped. You can see support there. You can see support there. So it's not a big level, but it's a minor level there. It's a minor level of support that you could potentially play. It's acted as support multiple times over. So I would say try to if you're looking to open a trade, look at that 22-cent area. If we get a pullback, if not, then the next area would be 25 cents. So you can probably open a trade there, either on a breakout or on a break and pullback. And then the next and probably biggest area, one of the bigger areas, is going to be at 30 cents. And then we have these areas up here, which is around that 45 cent, 36 to 45 cent area is going to be, looks like it's a big area of resistance there. So that's pretty much the way I'd be looking at it right now. There's really no Fibonacci levels until the dollar area. So not much to see there as far as that. So if you're looking to trade it or accumulate it, you know, I think it's in a good range down here. I think this would qualify as a buy range for me below 25 cents. So below 25 cents, I think is great for accumulation if you want to accumulate loop ring. So we're in that level right now. And then if you're looking to trade it, then above 25 cents or back down at 22 cents. All right, guys, we're at 1 hour. So I think I'm gonna cut it here. We're at an hour. So usually, you know, I don't wanna make it too much longer than an hour. But we covered a lot. We covered Ethereum. We covered Solana. We've covered Cardano. We covered Matic, Avalanche, Polkadot. We looked at Atom. No, we didn't look at Atom, did we? What else did we look at? Loop Ring. So we covered like almost 10 different altcoins here today in the hour-long live stream. Let me know what you guys think about these live streams. Do you want me to do these on a weekly basis where I kind of do a breakdown and analysis of these different altcoins every single week? You know, giving you guys potential areas to accumulate, potential trade setups if you're looking for trades. Let me know what you guys think. If you guys like these type of videos, then I'll add this to my weekly uploads, my weekly live streams. I'm already doing the Bitcoin one where I just focus on the overall market and on Bitcoin analysis, but I like to do these altcoin analysis and reports as well. So if you guys enjoyed this, make sure to give a thumbs up on this video. Make sure to like it. Make sure if you're new here, make sure to subscribe to the channel, and let me know in the comments. So let me know what you guys think, if you guys enjoy these, so that I can do these more often. Because if not, then if I don't see interest, then, you know, I don't have interest in doing it either. So I need you guys to show me interest so that I see that, you know, so that I get interest in order, you know, to want to do these type of videos, because these do take a lot of time. As you guys can see, it took an hour to do this live stream, and I've been talking nonstop. So I do have to basically dedicate a period of time, a block of time from my day, from my week, to be able to put these together. So if you guys like it, if you show me that interest, that you guys have interest in it, and I'll continue to do these. So appreciate everyone that was in here. Appreciate everyone that requested a coin analysis. I'm sorry if I didn't get to yours. I know I saw Steffi, you had another one that I didn't get to. Raj, I see you with DYDX. And I see Jesse requested Doge. I couldn't get to all of them because I'm gonna run out of energy right here right now. I'm already running down. I see Edgar in here. What's up, Ed? But yeah, that's pretty much. I'll get to some more of those next week when we do this again. So let me know, guys. Smash that like button. Let me know in the comments what other coins you guys want me to do, and we'll look at those next week. As always, guys, I'll see you on the next one. As always, peace and love.